What is up, our friends in film fandom, wherever you may be, and however you may be watching and/or listening? We appreciate you being here, as always, and giving us just a little bit of your time. We are, of course, the Harsh Truth, and I once again am obviously not Frank. And man, I was really hoping we'd finally get to this one, and it not be one of the cursed movies that we just never get to. Which
There's a couple. There's a list.
it's happened a few times, but we're getting this one in the can, so to speak. Thankfully, so yeah, we're finally here, Tango and Cash, and rounding out your favorite buddy cop movie reviewers, we got the actual living, breathing Frank in the house. And how are you this evening, sir?
Wonderful. Eager to talk about one of the great 80s movies that got in right under the wire to be able to be called an 80s movie.
It counts. That counts.
It counts. It counts. Buzzer beaters are still buzzer beaters.
It's like one of my favorite songs. I kind of forget it came out in '89 because I always think of it kind of as a '90s, not only music video but like song too. And I forget. Oh no, that was '89. I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's on the cusp. It's fun music anyway. It's fine. Oh, look at that. I'm glad I reminded my mom that we were having a show.
I actually just thought of a better tagline for underneath my name, actually, that fits a lot better, I think.
Okay. We'll see that here when I get this down. It's good to see my mom's in here and not Casey first. And my own wife. Look at that. See? And then it's all downhill from there. Tex has your vote for the Cycle Hall of Fame?
Yes, Tex has
That's
vote.
Fair.
That was much more fitting than do I have your vote? And so Tex has my vote.
Yeah, see, it's all about fitting it in there in the appropriated amount of characters. Oh god, because if I could type out a whole paragraph of stuff, I would. Anywho, I need a picture first. Idiot. Jeez. Anyway, we're here to talk about Tango and Cash. Finally, Tango and Cash is a 1989 American buddy cop action comedy film starring Sylvester Stallone, Kurt Russell, Jack Palance, and Teri Hatcher. The film follows the titular pair of rival police detectives who are forced to work together after a criminal mastermind frames them both for murder. Tango and Cash was released by Warner Brothers in the United States on December 22nd of 1989, the same day as Always, making it one of the last American films of the 1980s. The film received mixed reviews from critics, but was a box office success, earning $120 million against a $54 million budget. That's not bad at all. Again, like I say, that's a win, and we take those here. The film has a score of 31% on Rotten Tomatoes, based on 48 reviews, and an average rating of 4.4 out of 10. The critical consensus states, quote, brutally violent and punishingly dull. This cookie-cutter buddy cop thriller isn't even fun enough to reach, quote, it's so bad it's good status, end quote. Damn. Well, that's a little harsh, I think.
Well, that person is stupid. That person is stupid.
Oh, what are you saying? He was somebody probably born like 1995 and after who wrote that?
More than likely. I just...
You notice how I didn't include myself there. I had a few years on that guy. So.
Yeah, but you're a better movie fan than that, though. It's like,
I know.
It's like there's so many people out there that's like, the Earth didn't start spinning until the day I was born. That's the only history that really existed was when I was on the Earth.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like going back to this stuff from before I was born. Some of it's really entertaining. Quick update for Jeremy. I was telling him before the show that I was watching Smoke and Scan and watching this what seemed to be a never-ending police chase. Well, the guy's giving up now, so after all that trouble, after getting spiked by cops, he had probably 10 LAPD chasing at one point. He is now just out of the car with his hands on his head. So yeah, good on you, LAPD, for doing what you did.
Nice. And here we are talking about fictional LAPD. So it all comes full circle. Love that. Oh, Lord. I had a thought. It just did fucking escape me. I don't even know. What's the first? Yeah. So that's kind of shocking that even this has like a 4, basically call it a 4 out of 10, and doesn't. I don't know. I mean, is it maybe? I mean, I can't really speak for it. Frank, you were there. Is it maybe because like there were a lot of these movies? Because like we said, it seems like in the '80s, a lot of the same types of movies kind of got cranked out one after another, and maybe kind of got lost in the mix, or I don't know. Just it's like you've seen it before. Do you have like some quick thoughts on that? I mean, to speak to maybe why it didn't seem like it hit well,
Well, objectively speaking,
why they're wrong.
it's kind of there was a formula to some 80s movies like this. It was get two big stars, explosions, one-liners, and that's the movie. There's enough plot to put in there to where you have a story, but look, if you want Shakespeare, don't watch this movie. I mean, I wouldn't hold this movie against
Fun.
Zhivago or Schindler's List or one of the great films. It doesn't compare. I'm being objective. Is it a good, fun movie? Yeah. Most movies are not epic films that are going to be remembered for all times. Most movies are 2 hours that you're going to enjoy it when you're watching it. The 2 to 5 times you're going to watch it, because there's not many movies that exist out there for anybody really like a Star Wars. Like me and you will, for fun, watch Star Wars for the 875th time. That movie brings pleasure. There's not many movies ever that are made like that. I mean, everybody's got their own list. I mean, you know, I don't think Terrifier makes that list for a lot of people, whereas Tex will watch Terrifier, you know, as white noise when he's trying to sleep at night. But it's like, but yeah, it's not that. It's the 80s buddy cop formula, and it works great because that's just what it is. I've said it 100 times. The thing that's great about The Expendables is that Sylvester Stallone did not make that movie hoping to win an Oscar. He knew exactly what it was. It was just like this. It was big stars, one-liners, explosions, kind of enough of a story to be there, to kind of just to have dialogue, and that's the whole point. He was giving you an old school 80s version of an action movie in the more modern day, in the 2010s or whatever, when it came out.
10s
so,
or something. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like there is room for all kinds of movies to be watched, to be made, and to be enjoyed. This is one of those movies. I mean, that's yeah, and you're right. And I've said it before that the 80s, there was such a deluge of entertainment that there was a lot that was really good, a lot that was not so good, and then the stuff in the middle, a lot of it tends to get lost, even though it was actually really watchable. It's some of the best stuff. And if you're objective, you're looking at this movie and you're like, yeah, it's fun. It's not an Oscar winner. We'll talk about the awards that it did get nominated for later, which are kind of funny. But yeah, it's a good, fun movie. Sometimes you want a movie like this. Turn your brain off, you know, pour some cherry Coke down your gullet and watch these two guys blow each other up, and watch Jack Palance just be Jack Palance, because, you know, he's kind of brilliant. Just have fun with the movie.
I'm sorry. How did you know that's what I was drinking? Not sponsored, by the way, but
we're in mind meld, you and I. This is why nobody wants to play Cards Against Humanity with us anymore. One of us is going to win.
That's very true. We also came in here. If people don't know, behind the scenes, we both had the same exact quote when we came in here. It's because of weird hive mind going on. Yeah. Because I know I'm gonna be really modest here about myself and be like, yeah, I agree with you. I'm kind of obviously removed from this because I mean I wasn't alive when this movie came out, so I only have to like look back at it. But that's the thing, is I'm like, I love that I blow people's minds. That it's like it's weird that apparently the only things you're allowed to have ever seen in your life or like is anything that you've been alive for. I'm like, that's not how things work. You can go back and, you know, it's okay. You can go back and watch stuff from previous decades, like and enjoy it. I know it's a mind blowing concept, but yeah, and I've seen plenty of, you know, buddy cop movies before, and it's like, yeah, I mean, this is fun. You got Stallone and, you know, Kurt Russell and Jack Palance. I mean, you got some pretty big Hall of Fame names there. So, but yeah, like you said, is it, you know, are we trying to win Oscars here? No. Are we having fun? Yes. And like I keep saying, as of now, been maybe against her will, but turning my wife into a movie fan, you know, I always look and I turn to her and go like, see, remember when we used to have fun with movies? It didn't need to be like 15 movies in a damn universe, which that can be cool sometimes. But then, like you said, when things get saturated, it's like, oh, and everyone's doing that. This doesn't become fun anymore. Having these little just kind of fun one-offs that you can watch, and I mean, you could rewatch this movie and still just have fun with it. I think that's the important part. Does it say it on the? Yeah, it does say on the Rundown sequel. Don't do this to me, please.
Well, it's when I put that stuff in there, it doesn't necessarily mean that a sequel's going to get made. It often it's really just a point of conversation. So, but there has been talk, yeah. There has been talk.
Okay. Anyway, before we get to that point, I want to put a halt in my computer. First little point is a mess of directors, which is again not a great start. So I guess I'll go to you first, since you definitely didn't write these notes. Maybe enlighten me here. I didn't look too much into it, but what's up with all these directors? For this movie?
As I was looking at this, I was like, it seems to be a running theme in some of
just
Kurt
like
Russell's
development
film.
hell kind of thing.
No, it's a running theme in some of Kurt Russell's films. Because the same thing happened on Tombstone that we talked about. We reviewed that. There was a lot of back and forth as to what the thing was going to be, and then eventually they fired the guy who was originally directing it, and then they brought in another guy, but Kurt Russell was kind of the de facto director, and so on and so on. I thought that was interesting, but yeah, it's
so is the common denominator problem Kurt Russell?
I'm
just saying
it's a possibility, but yeah, I mean, it was based in a script by John Peters. Where am I at here?
Yeah, I'm kind of reading it now.
Let's see. The original
it's got two.
Donald Peterman left the production after 4 months of filming, including a month of pre-production. His replacement was Barry Sonnenfeld, who's made plenty of good movies. Like the Men in Black movies were all his. Addams Family, Get Shorty, things like that. But he was fired by Stallone after only 1 week of work on the film, and then Donald E. Thorin, who's most known as a cinematographer, was brought in as the replacement. But I mean, ultimately, I think it's similar to the way that things would end up playing out on Tombstone. It was really like, Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone were kind of calling plays from the field, so to speak. But yeah, there's 3 people that are listed as directors.
I see 2 here.
Well, Wikipedia's got 3 listed, but and then of course some production credits, and then some production credits. But I mean, yeah, sometimes I think that a little bit of chaos leads to greatness. Walt Disney had this thing where he would walk around the halls of Disney Studios, and if he heard groups of people working well together, he would switch the groups around. He wanted a little bit of competition. He wanted a little bit of tension, because he thought that kind of thing spurned creativity. And one of his famous sayings was, "How do we plus it? How do we make it better?" It's like, that's a great idea, but how do we plus it? How do we make it better? And I've always kind of respected that about him. But so sometimes it works out. Other times, I mean, we don't always know. I mean, because a lot of these behind the scenes stories don't come out until several years after the movie's been made, even decades after the movie's been made, as it turns out. But yeah, I do think it's interesting that there was a log jam of directors on another Kurt Russell movie, and you've got these 2 big and late 80s, like Sly was one of the great. I mean, him and Arnie were kind of running Hollywood for most of the 80s into the 90s. Kurt Russell probably right in there somewhere. But yeah, I do think it's interesting that another production involving Kurt Russell was had some problems with the creative concepts on set. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like I mean, this is me being, just me. I'm not a director. I'm not in that world of Hollywood. But I mean, like, if Kurt Russell came up to me and said, like, "Yeah, I think you should do it this way," I'd be like, "Yep, yes, sir." Like, or fucking if Sly came up to me and just said some shit, I'd be like, okay. Can you say "Yo, Adrian" one time? No. Okay, fine. Just thought I'd ask.
Can you call Rambo a pussy? Sure, why not? That's the line.
That was God. Like 5 minutes in this movie, and I'm already laughing. I'm like, at least you can laugh at yourself, man. He's like, Rambo, here's a pussy. Shoots the fucking truck. Like, okay.
It isn't funny enough if the cop says he thinks he's Rambo. Like, that line alone would be funny. But then you cap it off.
This guy thinks he's Rambo.
That was funny.
What's he gonna do? Run up the stairs, throw his hands in the air in victory? I don't know. Oh, God damn it. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I would think like Kurt Russell could be like a pretty fucking great director. I mean, if he wanted to make his own shit, if he hasn't already. I don't know what he's been doing, lately. Kind of makes me wonder, like, I wonder what happened on oh hell, it was Tarantino. What was that movie called? Hateful Eight, the western he did.
Yeah.
I wonder. I mean, it's Tarantino, and I'm like, well, Tarantino's a pretty he's Tarantino. I don't know if you want to argue with him. So, but there's also like a menagerie of people in that movie. There's like Samuel Jackson, Kurt Russell, fucking Walton Goggins. Oh god, that was interesting. And Channing Tatum for some reason for like 5 minutes before you guys had blown off. Spoilers if you haven't seen that movie, sorry. But yeah, Hateful Eight, interesting movie. But I don't know, what's that quote? Necessity is the mother of invention or something. So maybe if you just kind of switch up and they're like, now we have to regroup and we'll make something great. I don't know. It's an interesting way to put that. No, move Google there. There we go. Oh Lord, that's banners. I don't want that. Oh, look at that. Texas at least here in spirit. Picking up the slack for Dr. Nick, reminding us where Casey sticks things. So
somebody's got to say it, damn
it. Well, at least we're covering all the typical bases that we get through tonight, which I don't know what that really says about us. Anywho. Oh god. Okay, we got cast. Who we got? Is that Kurt Russell? That's Kurt Russell with that ever beautiful mullet. That's a classy mullet. I love that. That's beautiful. So yeah, first things the cast. Again, kind of you got some pretty heavy hitters in this movie, even for the time. So what do you think of this cast? Because I think it works out pretty well. Is there anybody that stands out to you? It's kind of hard to pick.
To me, it's not very hard. I mean, Kurt Russell and Sly, they just do their thing. They do their action movie tough guy thing. The guy that's on you just had on screen actually. I'm forgetting his name. Let me go back and pick it up.
Nope, that's Kurt Russell. Sorry.
No, the guy with him. God damn it! I'm drawing a blank in his name. I know he passed away several years ago. But
yeah.
I'll figure it out. But he's also a really good bad guy as well, which is fun. But I mean, come on, Jack Palance, for Christ's sake, that guy was just a legend. Let's see. Brian James is the guy's name. That's the guy. But yeah, he was one of the great character actor villains. He was one of the great character actor villains in a lot of movies, and I've always thought that he brings a certain level of intensity, that weird look in his eyes, and he, like when Nicolas Cage gets that one crazy look in his eyes, how he kind of it makes everything pop a little more. He had a lot of that too. But Jack Palance, I mean, at this stage in his life, he's already a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
The guy's been in so many things. He's done great in so many things. People of a certain age, like me, will remember him he was the host of Ripley's Believe It or Not back in the 80s. It's a tough call sometimes between him and dude from Unsolved Mysteries, Robert Stack. The best actor turned TV host, because they were both like right at the same level for so long.
That was 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, Unsolved. It started in the 80s and it ran deep into the 90s. They brought it back for a while, for like a year with somebody else, but it wasn't working.
God, that iconic voice. God.
But Ripley's Believe It or Not was a show back in the 80s. It was must watch for me and my 10 and 11-year-old friends, and Jack Palance was the host of that. But I mean, the guy, going all the way back to, I want to say, the late 40s, I think, is when he started his acting career. The guy was just great. And I say it all the time, if you're going to have a villain, the villain makes the movie. Jack Palance makes this movie more than just Russell and Stallone trading barbs. Mm-hmm. That would have been kind of silly. It would still be a fun movie. And even if Brian Jones would have been the main bad guy, it would have been fine. Or Brian James, rather. I'm sorry. If he would have been the main bad guy, that would have been fine. But somebody like Jack Palance brings a special level of coolness, a special level of gravitas. He brings something else to the game that makes everything better. So the great villain is the one that really stands out to me. But also I've got to say that the guy, let me find his picture real quick. The guy with his nerdy friend that gives him all the shit. This guy,
Oh, yeah.
He was in a million movies from the 60s all the way up into the 90s. Nobody remembers him, but he's so important in so many things.
You've seen him.
He was in Scrooge, that movie, one of the few Christmas movies that I can actually stand to watch. He was one of the homeless people that Bill Murray comes across. He was actually married for a long time to the lady who played Mama Fratelli in the Goonies. They were married for years up until she passed away, and then eventually he passed away several years later. But I mean, he's that one goofy character that you remember from so many '80s movies, but you never know his name. But it was really great to see. Let's see, Michael Pollard was his name, and so I don't want him to go unrecognized or unnoticed because again, it's so many movies from the '80s and early '90s. He played the same guy's goofy character that was a little bit of comic relief in the tenser moments, but so good, and that emotional turn when Bill Murray finds him frozen in Scrooge that's the huge emotional bomb drop of the movie Scrooge, and he is so good in that movie as well. But yeah, I don't want him to go unnoticed. But everybody in this movie does very well.
Yeah, like I said, good Lord, there's a lot to choose from, and for me, that's why it's kind of hard. I do agree. I do. Excuse me. I like the kind of like goofy R&D guy who's gives you all the fun toys to play with and shit. Because I've been told several times, like by Brooding Gamer, I think mostly, that I would be this character in a movie, and I'm like, you know what? That's kind of fair. Like, I'm gonna sit here. I'll give you some fun toys, like for the main guys to play with, and I just have the fucking time of my life doing it. Or like, is it like the guy in the Boondock Saints who just like throws in the bags, flips on a switch, and says, "Knock yourself out." A whole room of guns just lights up. He's like, you would be that guy. I'm like, yeah.
You look like you see one up close. Yeah.
Hey man, you don't know me. You made me look gay. You probably saw one up close. Oh, goddamn it. Great character. And again, you got Stallone and fucking Russell in the same movie. I do want to point out, I love the absolutely ridiculous laser sight on that revolver that Kurt Russell's sporting.
There's no way I'm carrying that gun in real life. I don't know.
I would scare the shit out of me.
I mean, but the problem is practicality.
I know it's supposed to just look cool. It's not.
For one, a handgun, you don't need to be ranged with a laser. I'm going to go into a little bit of a gun thing here. Handguns are not for long range engagements. It's like I practice with my handgun from 75 feet.
That's still pretty far though.
But the idea behind that is if I'm shooting pretty accurate from 75, the average self-defense situation is only about like 15 to 20 feet. So if I'm pretty accurate at 75, I'm going to be pretty spot on at the average engagement range of an assault. So that's my idea behind it. It's like, who needs a laser? I don't really like the idea of a laser and a handgun anyway. Now, granted, that one, maybe this is just because the tech wasn't quite there in the late 80s yet. It's like the other thing.
That's definitely
thing. I don't know how you wield that thing. For one, it's on a revolver. I don't know why the fuck any attachments on a revolver to begin with. But I mean, that giant, it's almost as big as the gun, as the firearm itself.
Yeah, like I said, I get it because it's the late 80s and that technology is not like really there yet. I know it's supposed to be the cool cutting edge shit because but you look at what they're both holding. I'm like, it kind of fits their character, to be fair, in a way. Like Sly's got he's got a little 1911. It's pretty slick and it's classy. And then you got Russell over there with his like obnoxiously ridiculous revolver with a equally ridiculous laser sight on top.
Yeah, it's like
it kind of speaks to their character.
It looks like a 1911 maybe or something like that, or maybe a Beretta or something that Sly's got. But I mean, and I'm okay. I'm okay with the big bulky revolver. That's great. Those guns have a lot of power. They feel really good to shoot.
Oh
but I swear to God, that laser's the size of a Volvo. I don't know how you wield that. There's no holster I can think that's ever been made that would hold that gun. And the only way, not even custom. It's like back then, like it was just like the shoulder holsters, at least on TV anyway. It was just the shoulder holsters that every cop had on TV. How do you fit that anywhere? The only thing you can do is to do it like Axel Foley style and stuff it on the back of your pants, the front of your pants. That's wildly unsafe because nothing's guarding the trigger well. But still, it's like something that is like this wide stuff down my. How do you sit? How do you walk? how do you do anything? It's like it's just
don't.
so silly. But I mean, it's a stupid buddy cop movie from 1989. I'm just gonna turn my brain off and let it happen.
Jack Palance had it. There was he's got a Beretta. Okay.
Yeah.
Still. Nah.
With
Well, to be
no
fair, also
laser sight.
well, look at that. Sly fucking stopped that truck with his little dinky snub nose and just stopped him in like 2 or 3 shots. So I don't know.
Yeah, the snub nose revolvers in movies always kind of make me laugh because it's just like I don't know what because the effective range of a short barreled weapon is probably only about 40 feet, maybe 50. And he shoots the windows at the fucking truck coming. Now, granted, it was coming at him, so it's essentially a stationary target, but it's still like 1,000 feet away. In reality, I don't think that bullet would have made it to the truck. It probably would have hit the ground before it got there, but I'll take it. The one thing about that scene that annoys me as someone who appreciates the Second Amendment guns is he gets out, he drops the rounds that are already in the gun and puts in new ones. And I'm like,
I didn't understand that.
I was like, I don't get what you're doing. Is it because it doesn't show that it's a special kind of round? It just shows him.
Yeah, I was like, were they?
So
yeah, I was like, were they special?
So this ammo hits the ground, and I'm like, okay, those are some Full Metal jackets. I get it. And then he goes to put the other ones in, and I'm like, you didn't show me like a hollow point, or that they were like armor piercing. Maybe you don't show it there. They're just the same bullets. I'm like, why do it at all? It's like,
plus P's are a little more pressurized. I don't know.
Like, it looks cool, sure, but I'm like, you got to make it make sense for you.
Yeah, but see, but people aren't like people who are the gun nuts like you and me, and like even I think Tex said something a second ago about laser sights are for bitches with no skill. So you kind of question like, yeah, it's a cool shot. You step out, dump them out, then you just speed load a bunch more in, and then just somehow take like these 2-3 shots to stop a whole semi truck.
But I know the purpose of that shot though. It's to make Sly look cool.
I mean, you can't tell. I mean,
there's no effective anything in that situation. It gives Sly a slow-mo shot that can get you into the movie. So I'm fine. And I don't think laser sights are without merit. I mean, an MP5 with a laser sight. Something small. I mean, that makes sense. The military uses laser sights, not a lot, but they use them in certain situations. I mean, so they're whatever. I mean, I'm not going to run out to buy a laser sight for any of my guns. Really, I have a red dot scope for my AR, but
honestly, if you're going in the dark, I'm like, I want to be able to see some shit and just
You know what's cool are the ones that shoot the ultraviolet one, the invisible laser, and you have to have the special glasses to see it. I would dig that.
Oh yeah, cool. That would be fucking sick. That's what I'm saying. Like, have the one only show up like if you have like a special like not night vision, like you said. Only ones that show up in certain light. That would be pretty sick because then you never even fucking see it coming. Now that we've divulged into gun talk, because I know we're trying to put logic and how things work into movies, but starts poking holes in it. Well, speaking of poking holes, how about the plot? Got let's get the kind of Batman shot here. I don't know.
That's actually
where are the other drugs going? Swear to me. Anyway, or what did Batman say? Do I look like a cop? Oh god damn it. Anyway, so what do you think about this plot? Two cops from, I guess, 2 different parts of LA. At least we kind of understand that LA is huge, but in most movies it seems like everybody's right next door. Get framed for a murder from good old Jackie boy there. So what do you think about this plot? Does it work? I mean, I know we've been saying it's just a kind of cookie cutter buddy cop movie, but does it work? Would you change anything?
I actually don't think it was very cookie cutter. I think they tweaked a few things in a unique enough way that it made the plot a little better. Usually you see like Murtaugh and Riggs from Lethal Weapon, 2 cops on different frequencies get together and do a thing. I like the fact that there is an active competition between these 2. It seems I think some of the most important quick scenes in these movies are like when they're both looking at the newspaper, and like Russell looks and he goes, "Oh, Armani with a badge," and then he looks at the other one and he goes, "Oh yeah, there's my shit," and then the other one is just like, "Oh, look at this fucking loser," and then he looks at his own, so he's like, "Oh yeah, that's the shit right there," and then having them have an unknown bad guy that is after them both that kind of pulls them into this mess together. I think that was a interesting tweak to the kind of basic formula of the buddy cop thing. I thought that was pretty cool. But I mean, the plot. I mean, look, it's a '80s action cop film. It's like I said, sometimes you just turn your brain off and stuff your face full of popcorn and enjoy the show. And so, I mean, the plot was pretty good. Like I said, a lot of this is performance driven. The characters are pretty basic, but the performances are great. And it's what really makes the movie work very well. But yeah, the plot. I mean, the plot was pretty standard '80s with a couple of really important tweaks that made it more interesting.
Yeah, it's obviously, like we said before, talking about the cast, it's kind of carried by these performances of, again, mainly you got the big people of Sly, Russell, and Jack Palance. But it's kind of a cool idea that you get two. Obviously, when you do a buddy cop thing, you got these two. Again, I'm gonna keep going to this picture because like you got two guys that are obviously very stylistically different. You got Rambo in a suit, and well, that's just kind of Kurt Russell. So, a little more casual, with a little bit of obnoxious thrown in, but a sweet mullet. So, yeah, and then you get it's like they're kind of brought together by the fact that this I think there's that cool shot of him like in the smoke. Yeah, that's a fucking cool shot.
That's a really cool villain shot right there. I could.
I'm like that is a villain shot for sure. Yeah,
I could go for having that as a poster. That's a really cool shot. And this picture doesn't really do the justice of the scene itself when the guys break into them beating the fuck out of Tango and Cash, and he just slowly backs into the steam, backs into the mist. I was like, wow, that's a great shot. That's a really cool image right there. And what's cool about it is you can still see Jack Palance's face through most of that shot. It's not till he kind of gets around the corner a little bit behind that machine that his face darkens too much for the camera to catch. But I love the fact that you can still see his steely expression while he's backing away. That's just a really cool shot.
And then again, kind of an iconic voice. Just hearing this guy, talk to these two detectives. Yeah, it's a cool, kind of a cool plot, and it does have some heart. I mean, I think I was gonna say when we mentioned about I don't know if is that her. Yeah, the sister. You throw in Stallone's character of the sister with Kurt Russell. I love that he, it's like while these two poke fun at each other, Russell and Stallone, he has that moment where he's always like, yeah, I'm gonna date your sister, man, and he's like, well, if I ever had your permission, he's like, yeah, well, in that case, no. But then he just goes into this whole he's like, yeah, but like, hear me out. Was like, I have nothing against you, really. Like, I like you. I just don't want my sister to get that phone call at 2 a.m. and you be gone, and I couldn't live with myself with that. And it's like, damn, he cares. He cares a little bit.
It is a really interesting point of emotional honesty between these two characters. After this entire movie of them just basically taking pot shots at one another in the funny ways. And then right before the brilliant, spectacular final end, where the bad guy gets blown up and in the grand way that only celluloid can deliver. It is that really cool moment of honesty and real communication between the two that really does it slows the movie down just enough for you to remember that these people are people, not just two guys that are taking barbs with each other.
Just trying to get under each other's skin. Yeah. And because he does kind of bring it back a little bit with he's like, it's a good thing I'm not gonna die. And I'm like, see, that's exactly what happens in a movie when someone is about to die. Like, damn it, Kurt Russell. And yeah, he does, and he straight up takes a bullet for Sly. So I mean, yeah, he says like, oh, I tripped. Yeah, sure, buddy. You definitely jumped in front of it and pushed him out of the way and took one right in the shoulder or wherever it was. You got shot in the back or something. Clean through and through. So I mean, you kind of got lucky, thankfully. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I would really change. Like I said, I don't write movies. At least I don't claim to. I word vomit things onto pages, but so yeah, I think it's just fine the way it is. Why do we? God damn it! Frank still has this up here because I guess he's not gonna let me for.
I keep it
up. Like, wait, what picture?
In case I have a joke that I can make about Mexican Ninja.
I don't know if the threshold is that wide for that kind of joke, but I mean, hey, if it happens. I was just looking at it like, what the hell is that picture? Oh, it's still in there. Okay. That's nice to know. Oh god damn. My other tab, I was looking at this. Jack Palance was an active actor from 1947 to 2004. So I mean, holy shit. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, he lived to the young age of 87.
Right.
I mean,
Jesus.
God, I was looking at his filmography. First film credit in 1950. First television credit in 1950.
Some westerns, wasn't he? Like,
he was in a lot of westerns.
I was gonna say he was
well, if you think about it, most of the early half of his career, the 50s and 60s.
Well, I was gonna say in the 50s and 60s. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
probably a lot.
I mean, the Barbarians, you know,
City Slickers.
Yes, well, yeah, City Slickers is one of the ones that the younger crowd might remember. But I mean, going all the way back to some of the 60s.
Oh yeah, freaking Batman! I almost forgot about that. Same year.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Cocaine Cowboys. Yeah. He actually did Batman and Tango and Cash both in the same year.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's same year. A little bit smaller part in Batman, so I mean, I guess probably worked a little more on Tango and Cash than he did Batman. He's kind of getting shot by Jack Nicholson.
From 82 to 86, he was the host of Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Nice.
He was in an episode of Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. I don't remember that, but then again, I haven't seen that show since I was probably 10 years old anyway. So I'll have to figure out where I can watch that show. He was the man from Uncle. Yeah, he was the man from Uncle, one of the great TV shows. Convoy.
He was in Young Guns. Who did that movie? Lawrence Murphy. Okay. Oh, son of a bitch. I mean, my surprise. I mean, it's like this guy was, in a lot. So, not really that surprising to me. Okay. Well, next is my favorite subject. I don't want to talk about this. Who's this? Fuck it. We'll put this guy up here. Well, if we're done beating the plot to death, the next part is my favorite question of all time: a sequel? Question mark.
I don't know.
What do you think? I don't. How recent was this? Was this maybe brought up, or was this like? Has this been since like 1990 and onward, or has it just been recent?
Surprisingly recently, and this is what they say on this is what they say on Wikipedia, and I'm not surprised that some like online people like us have mentioned it here and there. Apparently, in September of 2019, not 2009, not 1999. 2019, Stallone revealed that he had a story prepared for a potential sequel and was trying to convince Kurt Russell to sign on. But while Stallone wanted to do the film, Russell was unsure if he wanted to, saying by then that they were in their unprime. As of 2025, no further news has materialized. But this is one of the things that I've heard people talk about a potential TV show, because they did the television version of Lethal Weapon, which I watched a few episodes of and I wasn't really impressed with. And then it had its own casting problems, and eventually I think they just kind of quietly canceled it.
I think I knew they did that.
We're in the age of legacy sequels, and I feel like if Sly and Russell want to have some fun with it, maybe, but I just don't want to take the idea seriously, because like I said, this movie is kind of a formulaic buddy cop thing with a few tweaks that make it a little bit different enough to where it doesn't kind of just blend into the background noise. I don't know that you could do that again. I don't know if there's anything else you could do to make it a little more unique. But we're in the age of legacy sequels now, and some people are hitting some home runs. I mean, the Naked Gun movie was pretty good, not as good as the original, but it had its good moments, and it wasn't bad. I mean, Top Gun Maverick was fantastic. It's working out for a few things. So, is it going to happen? I'd say there's about a 5% chance that it will. I won't go any higher than that. Should it happen? I mean, I wouldn't care if it didn't. I don't think it's really necessary. I mean, because I watched Tulsa King, and I love Sly, and Kurt Russell in the Fast and Furious movies is one of the few things that actually makes those movies watchable anymore. But yeah, both these guys, I mean, they're getting a little old, they're getting a little up there, and while Sly is good at Tulsa King, I mean, if you look at the picture of him right there on the screen right now, and a picture of him in Tulsa King, or some of his recent stuff.
Oh God.
He's not a young guy
Hey,
anymore. He's
No.
pretty. He's looking for now. He dresses up nice. I mean, in Tulsa King, he's got the nice suits like he has in this movie. He cleans up great, and so does Kurt Russell for that matter. But there's a reason why Liam Neeson wants to get away from the action stuff now. He goes, as I'm in the 70s, I can't realistically put myself on screen in an action role and expect people not to be kind of amused by it when I'm trying to tell a story and people are kind of pointing and laughing. They're like, how is that 74-year-old guy beating up all these 30-year-old henchmen that are like cut and in good shape and have guns? It works in Naked Gun because the movie is just kind of ridiculous. The whole point of that movie is its ridiculousness.
Yeah.
But when you're in like a serious movie, when you're trying to like make people think that there is a cop doing a thing against all these bad guys against incredible odds, it just looks silly. So I kind of get it. I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't really think it should happen. But we're in the age of legacy sequels where they're starting to hit pretty well. So, I mean, 5% is as high as I'm going to go, but I got to be honest, I just don't really want to see a sequel.
I'm looking somebody. Oh, look at that. He is 70 years on the dot. What I was going to mention was, something like Gladiator 2, where I'm like, yeah, it's Denzel. We love Denzel. But brother, you are 70 years old. There's no way you're beating up 30-year-old. What's his nuts? I don't remember his name. Who was the star of Gladiator 2? I'm like, I don't know if I really believe it. So, I mean, you didn't really cut Eddie Munson's head off. You kind of had his brother do it for you. So, what?
Well, some guys, and I think Denzel's one of them, are aging better. So
yeah, like I said, I'm not saying he ages
some guys
gracefully,
can be 75 years old. I mean, because he's believable in the Equalizer movies. He's believable.
Yeah,
he's a grizzled guy. I could see him playing a character like for those of you who have read the Clancy Ryanverse books, I could see him playing like the older God fuck, what's the guy that God damn, I want to draw a blank this name. Lev Schreiber plays him in John Clark.
Oh,
he could play a guy like he could play a modern day version of John Clark, which is what Michael B. Jordan plays in the Amazon movie. When he plays John Clark, he can play an older. He can play a 70s John Clark who can still throw hands and work with the steel, if you know what I mean. But I mean, but it's like Liam Neeson. He's a tall, lanky guy, and he's not aging quite the same. Whereas all you got to do is just dye a guy like Denzel, just dye his hair black, dye out some of the gray, and he still looks like he's gonna walk around, throw some people through walls. So, I mean, a lot of it's just about the specific actor. A lot of it is just it's in the writing and how you design the character. I mean, because the reason writing's so important, why I put so much emphasis on it, as to what makes a movie, the first step of making a movie good, is you're designing the characters. You're describing what they look like and who they are. So it's like I could say 20-something baseball player who's just getting his shot to big leagues and is dealing with A, B, and C. I'm not going to cast modern day Kurt Russell because he's old and he's got long, straight gray hair now, and I'm not casting him in that role. But it's all about the character design and all that stuff and the way it's all written, and then why casting is so very important is like casting the right person in that role. I actually thought Denzel fit pretty well in Gladiator 2. I mean, most people were complaining about the fact that he wasn't talking with some kind of an accent, so you got some guy in there talking with a light
New York
Brooklyn
accent.
Light Brooklyn accent in in Egypt from 2,000 years ago. But again, that was
Denzel. I'm not gonna question Denzel. So,
I also love the HBO series Chernobyl, where all the guys who are apparently Russian are speaking in a British accent. So,
sure,
yeah, why not?
Yeah, sure. I think I've said this, and I think you kind of touched on it a second ago. When you have something like Naked Gun, I can accept it for you making a sequel decades later, because it's like it isn't a serious movie. It doesn't take itself seriously, so it's like you can kind of just laugh along with it, just be like, yeah, okay, that's goofy, and it fits into the, like we said, it fits into the realm of that movie series, so it's fine. Same with this one. It's like it's a little more serious, but it's still just kind of goofy fun. But I was gonna say that in the words of Lethal Weapon. I think you're getting too old for this shit. So I don't know.
Danny Glover was my age when he said that, by the way, which really hurts my heart.
Yeah, I was gonna say that kind of hurt your soul a little bit. Yeah. Yikes. Although, to be fair, if they keep making sequels of that, it's like, well, you can still keep saying that line and it will still hit, because you are in fact just older every time you do another movie of Lethal Weapon. But I think that's kind of where my problem comes from with a lot of these legacy sequels. Is most of you know my fucking issue with it is, yeah, when you have movies that are a little more serious, and I'm like, well, see, now you have this bar that you have to like hit, that it's like, this is, I'm supposed to take this seriously 40 years after it was made, and I'm like, I kind of can't. I don't know, you know what I mean? It's just like there's so much time that has passed, and it's like with this, I'm like, well, they'd still be the same two characters. I'm like, okay, do you have another like younger pair of detectives or something going on, or is it still just these two dudes bopping around LA? I don't know. But that's again the dichotomy of like, now you have something like Naked Gun, where I'm like, it's not supposed to be serious, so you can kind of just, I can just shrug it off and laugh at it, and that's why I was all for it. I was like, yes, this is hilarious and I like this because it's not serious. So it's just a different bar to hit, and that's why I just feel like that's the, and if it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit, and that's unfortunately why it kind of sucks to me. Well, why I feel like you shouldn't try it.
There's two things that kind of stand out when it comes to this movie anyway. Is number one is does anybody really want it? The answer is a clear no. Nobody's fawning for a sequel or a remake to Tango and Cash. I think a remake might be a better idea, because you could put a couple of younger guys in there to have fun with it. But don't make it a serious thing. Make it like a buddy cop, goofy kind of actiony thing. Don't make high art. Just make it a modern day version of this movie. The other thing is, one thing that might work in the favor for a legacy sequel or a remake is the expectations are low. This isn't one of those I mean, while this is a good 80s movie, it's not one of the timeless 80s movies. I mean, if you ask anybody for their top 10 or 15 80s movies, I don't imagine that 15% of people would ever put this in their top 15 or 20. It's a fun 80s movie, but it's not like up there with the Top Gun, Back to the Future, Indiana Jones. It's not up there with any. It's not up there with any
Star
of the
Wars
that came out in the decade. Star Wars is technically an 80s franchise, because Return came out in like 82 or something like that. So
Empire was 80 and Return was 83. So yeah.
So
Spaceballs, shit, even that.
Even Spaceballs might actually kind of bump this movie off the list. But so the expectations are low. So maybe a lot of people who maybe had never even seen this movie, because like I said, it's not one of the ones that's on a lot of top lists of the 80s, would maybe the expectations being low would help a lot. So if they just made it decent, people would walk away and be like, oh, that's decent. Because if you're remaking Top Gun or sequelizing like they did with Maverick, and Maverick sucks, that's going to piss a lot of people off, because the expectations are up here, because Top Gun is one of those movies that is so revered in the 80s. But this movie,
that was one that hit.
Yeah, but this movie not being a huge hit, it's just kind of being a passing thing in the career of both these guys, who have both done really cool stuff. Just kind of being one of those passing things, a movie that happened in their careers rather than the standout films. I think the expectations would be low, so I think that would help. But I mean, it's still there's nobody pining for this. I think it's funny that for years we heard they're making Coming to America 2. It's coming, and for years before they actually made the film, I see posts on Facebook, they're making it. It's coming out this fall, and I'm like, no, it's not. You fucker, stop lying. It's like I read the trades. Nobody's talking about this, and that's one of the ones that people wanted to see a sequel of, and they were dragging their feet on that one. It took literally 20 years to get that sequel made. And that was one of the great, and again, one of those movies would push this movie out of the top 15 of most people's lists from the 80s, because that was America, yeah. But so people were fawning over
Beverly Hills Cop. That would even beat that out.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there was talk of a Beverly Hills Cop sequel in a lot of places for a long time before it finally happened. There was talk for a long time about what was the other one I was thinking of the other day? Top Gun is one they've been talking about since the first one came out. So from 1987, the first one came out in 86. From 1987 on, there's been whispers. The Goonies is another one. They've been talking about a Goonies sequel for literally 80% of my life. And there's apparently something in the works, but I mean, I'll believe it when I'm buying my ticket and walking to the theater to see Goonies Part 2. I mean, they've willed a few of these into existence, but I mean, those were really big franchises, or really big movies that are kind of iconic. They kind of cross from one generation to the next. Like, my kids like the Goonies, my kids like Top Gun. This is not one of those movies, so I just don't see any point in trying to sequelize it or even really reboot it. So just kind of let this movie be what it is.
Another one that I mentioned just a second ago, Spaceballs. I'm like, hey, we're getting a Spaceballs too, though. But again, I mean, he said it as much in the actual movie. He said, like, yeah, well, God willing, we'll meet again in Spaceballs too. Like, okay, I'm like, but
if they don't name that The Search for More Money, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to throw my drink at the screen.
I would hope. Like, Mel, you said it. I hope to God you have to call it that at least. Like, give us that. You're giving us it, but please give us that. Like,
I mean, I'm going to watch the movie still. I'm going to watch the movie still.
It's probably
going to be awesome. But if you don't call it Spaceball 2, The Search for More Money.
The Search for More Money.
The joke was right there.
Because, like I said, that's when I saw that, I was, me who's always like, no 40-year sequel, stop it. When I saw that, I was like, yes, take my goddamn, here's The Search for Your Money. It's right here. Take it, please. I know people are like, well, what do you mean? Again, it's a parody. It's not serious.
Yeah.
So yes, it's aware of itself. I'm like, I was already in. And then when you saw the trailer for it, I'm like, see, it is self-aware. And I'm like, God, if it's even remotely like that, I'm so fucking in. Because again, now that, Mel is like 187 years old, it's still him making this movie. So I'm like, I trust that more wholeheartedly than I would if it was somebody else. So, he's got that humor. And like I said, I hope we're back a little bit, because I want this movie to be as funny as the original.
Yes, by far. I've never understood how Cora's always said that he doesn't like Spaceballs. She gets the other movie. I'm like, are you kidding me?
What? Why?
It's a classic.
Right. And oh my God, especially in this day and age, the merchandising is going to go crazy. Where the real money from the movies made. If I walk into the theater and you don't hand me a Spaceballs the flamethrower, I'm walking out. I don't want it.
Well, cosplay is your thing. We can throw one together, I'm sure. We will walk into the theater with a Spaceballs and flamethrower.
Yeah, I might get kicked out for that one.
It'll be fake that they know of.
Well, remember, I have a license. I'm licensed in this state to do flamethrowers.
That's all you got to do. You just got to look at them and say, hey, license.
I can pull it up on my phone right now. I'm like, I have a license from this state. I can do flame effects for an audience. Boom, lawyered. Although technically that'd be breaking the law, because there has to be 2 people present in the room for that kind of thing to be legal. So, yeah. It sucks having what's that? I am burdened by knowledge, and now you are too.
Yeah.
So I'll let you know that's a part of it, which sucks.
Well, what you do is you get your wife's license, and she's gonna go see the movie with you. So see, you're covered. And then you both have licenses. You guys can both set things on fire legally.
Yeah, I'm surprised she doesn't, just for the fact of us having it, because honestly, it would help.
I was joking with Jennifer one night. I was like, Jeremy's got this, license to do pyrotechnics and stuff. I was like, wonder if I should go too. She goes, no, I will not have you starting fires from this house. Not even practice.
No.
She's like, you worry me when you start the barbecue grill to cook steaks and hamburgers. She goes, no, you're not going to set fires for fun in this house. I was like, but Rachel, listen, Jeremy.
Would it make her feel? Would it make you feel better if I was there? I know what I'm doing. For the most part,
lets Jeremy set fires all the time.
She lets him set fireworks off. God. Yeah, that's the fun of my job. Going into a fireworks store and knowing exactly. I'm like, oh, I know what that is, but that is holy shit. That's cool. That's. Whew. The only thing you're not allowed to buy is military grade shit. They did kind of widen the berth of like what you can buy as a civilian, which is kind of wild. But I'll not bore you all with legal crap that I have to sit through for 6 hours every 3 years. So, what's the next? Trivia. I do want to mention I do have to mention Robert Zadar because you want to talk about a man that has a chin, like a brick wall of a chin.
He
And I
stands
kind
out,
of
doesn't he?
forgot. Pretty unforgettable. Yeah. So I was gonna mention this because I'm like, it's funny that like I kind of forgot he was in this, and there's a channel that I watch that, you know, expanding my horizons of movies that I've seen. It's like I start to find these like um well, weird movies, because I'll get into why I call it that in a second. Other like B movies or just goofy things that you'd never even like think to see, because of a channel I watch, and I stole I stole his thumbnail for it because I've seen this guy before. The channel's name, it used to be Fanboy Flicks, but now it's called Weird Movies with Mark, which is where the thumbnail comes from. This dude, because again, very unmistakable face. He was in a movie the year after this called Killing American Style, whatever that means, but that's a pretty American looking poster right there, or shot. I don't know if that's the poster. But that's his logo. Weird Movies with Mark. I would say, as a fellow YouTuber, check him out. If you want to get in some, like, you know, stuff you've probably never heard of, like just B movies, bad movies, just weird stuff that he finds and he reviews them. Yeah, he's a fun channel to watch. He's how I found The Room, to be fair. The Room and oh god, what was Samurai Cop. So in the car, which is like a Christine, I think before Christine? Question mark? Hold on. I think it was. I think that was in the 70s.
Yeah, he was in that Maniac Cop movie that I know Tex has mentioned a couple times, made by the guy that did the Frankenhooker movie.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. The car came out in 1977. Hey, same year as Star Wars. That's a weird spectrum of movies to come out in the same year. Look at that. Yeah. So the car is like a pre-Christine, before Christine. Killer sentient car, kills people. Turn your brain off. Have fucking fun. It's a fun movie. Yeah, I just want to point that out because I've a pretty unmistakable face that I've seen before. So just kind of funny when you start watching movies and you see people that have been in other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, aside from his acting, I'm just looking at his Wikipedia page real quick, so take it as you will. He lived a pretty eventful life. Born in Illinois, went to high school, went to Arizona State University, where he received a Bachelor of Fine Arts, and played football. After graduation, returned to Chicago, where he was employed as a Chicago police officer, a member of a band named Nova Express, a commercial jingle writer, and a Chippendales dancer. So this guy was around. He did things.
Damn. All right, dude.
Yeah. And and you know what he had, the jaw was due to something called, I'm gonna butcher this real bad, Churbism. It's a medical condition resulting in an enlarged jawline. He had a unique and easily recognizable look with a slightly sinister appearance, yes, of course, which aided his career as he usually portrayed villains. And he appeared, this guy. You know, how long do you think his career spanned? This is one of the things about this guy that gets me now that I'm reading it.
He died in like the early 2000s, right? So
he died in 2015.
Oh, 15. Okay. Yeah. So not that long ago. Damn. Really? I mean,
he was in
10 years ago.
He was in 121 films over the course of a 39-year career.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
That's crazy. And they've only got a partial filmography here on Wikipedia. I mean, you'd have to go to IMDb to get the complete one. But I mean, you know, Night Stalker, Cherry 2000, which is a movie I think I haven't seen it since probably it came out in 1988. But I remember being kind of a fun, crazy movie. Maniac Cop movies, Tango Cash.
Oh, Samurai Cop, yeah.
Samurai Cop. Beastmaster 2, which like the first Beastmaster was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. I don't think I ever saw Beastmaster 2. But he had plenty of opportunities to make his name, and he did. I mean, I'd like to be in 121 movies over an almost 40-year career. That's not a bad way to do things.
Yeah, really. Yeah, he got a long list. God damn.
And of course, here comes Tex and all his great knowledge about everything art.
Yeah, no, I forgot he was in Samurai Cop. I think he was the oh, god damn it. I think he was the guy who was kind of like the right. That movie is so goddamn weird. I think he was the right hand guy of like the mob boss, who I'm also supposed to believe this. You're telling me this big dude here was a like trained samurai? I mean, sure. I'm also supposed to believe the main character was also like a trained samurai. He looks like the most like 80s like wrestler looking dude I've ever seen in my life. So whatever. Hey, they had a pretty diverse gang in that fucking movie. It was some like Japanese like Yakuza gang or whatever the fuck, and like there's like him, there's this one redheaded chick, there's like a black dude, there's like a little skinny Japanese dude. It's like, well, if I find that damn picture, it's like them in their hideout, which looks like someone's living room, them all just like chilling around with guns, and they got like cigarettes and like they're playing cards together. I'm like, if I would told you like that's a gang in this movie, I don't think you'd believe me. I'll have to find it one of these times. What's the trivia? Okay. I see the name Luke Skywalker. That makes me happy. All right. Let's see. What's oh yeah, okay. There's text. Let's get the two up here again. All right. Now for the trivia, there will be a quiz. Tango Cash was nominated for 3 Golden Raspberry Awards for Worst Actor for Sylvester Stallone, Worst Supporting Actress for Kurt Russell in Drag, oof, and Worst Screenplay. Damn it, I should have used that. I'm sorry, I didn't read the whole thing. You tell him, come on. Kurt Russell in Drag was pretty fucking funny.
Like the Golden Raspberry is like that's the one award that I actually pay attention to. Like when it happens, it's like when it pops up on Twitter. It's like the Golden Raspberry's been hanging. I'll go see who won because those are the ones that matter the most. I don't give a shit about the Oscars. I don't give a shit about the Emmys, the Grammys, none of that shit anymore. The Golden Raspberries, that's where it's at now. It's become a badge of honor. As a matter of fact, I don't know if we mentioned this when we were talking about we were doing a review for something else, but when Halle Berry was nominated for Catwoman for basically every Raspberry Award, she actually showed up to get to accept her award.
Right, because famously she showed up, and yeah, that was pretty awesome.
So yeah, it is a bit of a badge of honor. But I mean, God, that scene where he's in drag, I was like, that is just too damn funny.
Right. You hit him with that look before you take off on the motorcycle. Hell yeah. That shit was funny. Okay, let's get Jackie back up here. All right. Jack Palance jokingly showed his displeasure about filming this movie while on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno in 1992. That was a good year. He said that when he first got the script, he was really excited about doing the movie since he had 3 nice scenes with Stallone, but soon as filming started, all his scenes with Stallone were cut, and he didn't even see Stallone throughout the entire movie. Wah, wah.
That's how it goes sometimes. If anybody,
I wonder about that sometimes. Like the way you shoot a movie, I'm like, they're not in the same room because I'm not seeing them in the same frame. Like I hate that I know shit like that too, where I'm like, they're not in the same room, are they? You know,
all kinds of funny tricks. I mean, the pane of glass between the Cobra and Harrison Ford and
Harrison Ford
in Raiders, yeah. But yeah, it would have been cool to see them have some real dialogue instead of just like at that end scene where everything's about to like culminate. I really do like the dialogue between the good guy and the bad guy. Those conversations. They're talking about the diner scene in Heat all the time. When Thanos is explaining all of his shit at some point in the MCU. Yeah, it's like I love that dialogue between the good guy and the bad guy. Sometimes that's better, depending on the characters in the movie and how they're written and all that. Sometimes that's better than just watching them throw hands at each other's ass.
Even this movie right here.
Yeah.
You got Lex Luthor and Superman having a little dialogue back and forth.
Well, it's like even like the Matrix. It's like
Agent Smith? Oh god, yeah.
Like the one thing that is the saving grace for the third Matrix film for me is that conversation that they're having where he's like, maybe it was the second film where he's like, I wanted to just walk away from this, but I felt compelled. And the way that
I was compelled to stay.
Yeah, the way that he delivers that dialogue, I'm like, damn, that's good acting. That's good dialogue delivery. Those kinds of conversations between the good guy and the bad guy really make a film so much better.
I think that was 2.
And it would have, that was 2. And it would have been, really cool to have seen Jack Palance and Sly, who, while Sly is not the best actor in the world, he does do well at times delivering dialogue. I mean, the Rocky movies are kind of where he really shines as an actor, but I mean, he's had times various other films where he's done really, really good acting. And so it would have been interesting to see Jack Palance, that level of actor, have a conversation with Stallone. Even Kurt Russell, who himself has had some pretty good dialogue at various points in his career. But it would have been interesting to have that conversation. But whatever. I mean, it's a buddy cop film. I'm not looking for depth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, what we got? Let's get Kurt Russell back up here. All right. We're talking about what could have been. Kurt Russell was originally considered and was offered the role of Martin Riggs from Lethal Weapon in '87, but he turned it down and it went to Mel Gibson, as we know, with whom he'd worked on Tequila Sunrise from 1988. His character in this film is loosely based on Riggs.
Yeah, there is a certain similarity between the two. I mean, because
the hair, the hair for one thing.
Oh yeah, the dynamic between these two characters and the two characters in Lethal Weapon is very similar. I don't know that it was necessarily meant that way. I think that's just kind of part of the buddy cop formula. You have the one guy who has a way of things, and another guy who has a way of things, and then those ways tend to clash.
They clash.
At the end of the movie, they figure their shit out. They beat the bad guy, and everybody's happy at the end. But yeah, it is interesting to think about what could have been. It would have been fun to have seen Kurt Russell do the crazy stuff that Mel Gibson did, but whatever. At the end of the day, some of these movies I feel like they're cast the way they should have been cast. It would have been interesting to see somebody else in the role, but I like this movie for what it is, and I don't want to fuck with anything that I like. You know what I mean? Because I might make it less than what it is. So I'm okay with what I got. I'm happy.
That's fair. What is this shot? Well, that's close enough, I guess. The sound effect used for Tango and Cash's truck in the scene in the quarry is the same as Luke Skywalker's land speeder from Episode 4: A New Hope. That pesky Skywalker sound, it is everywhere. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until I actually had to go back and watch that scene again when I read that piece of trivia. I was like,
I'm gonna have to now because now I want to hear it.
Now I'm curious to see if that's actually real. I could have swore I had a better that I had a picture of that actual fucking RV
of the truck,
as they called it in the movie. I guess I did not pull. I could have swore I pulled a picture of that, and for some reason I don't have it. But yeah, what's funny is it looks like a minivan that was painted to look like Kit from Knight Rider, but it's got the minigun on the side and some other little accoutrement that it's got like the front push bar that like cop cars have these days and things like that. Mm-hmm. It just looked like some amalgamation that some redneck like Tex would put together so he could go driving around and feel like a badass all the time. It's like he took mom's minivan and like decked it out, made it bulletproof, and made it and armor coated it. But whatever, this is
Let's go back to that scene because we're still in the quarry. One of the monster trucks at the quarry scene, excuse me, towards the end is the famous Bigfoot truck. Okay. Although it is painted different colors than its a trademark blue, it does not feature doesn't feature any of the decals. It was confirmed that it is in fact Bigfoot by the owner of the original monster truck, Bob Chandler. God, I can't talk today. Huh. Well, I mean, if you're gonna get like the monster truck of monster trucks, I mean, it's Bigfoot.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. One of the reasons I threw that in there is because I was planning on having Tex around today, and I was thinking the king of the yeehaw people would blather on for a minute, and then here he is right here. The yeehaw people will rise. But yeah, I honestly I wonder why they didn't just leave the Bigfoot thing on there. I mean, it would have been interesting to think that
maybe it's like a rights thing. They couldn't.
Maybe that's true, but I mean, I would have tried to have fought for it because I would have. It would have been interesting to know that the guy like Perret, like the bad guy played by
Palance,
played so brilliant by Jack Palance, that he had so much pull that he could get Bigfoot to come in there and drive over people and kill him. He had that kind of pull. Right. I mean, he's already basically buying off an entire prison trying to have these two assassinated, and he's throwing all this money around doing whatever he's doing. It's like it would have made sense, but I mean, whatever. It's just nice to know that the legendary Bigfoot is getting a little bit of credit.
Well, to be fair, you should have hit up Spielberg because apparently, in my now favorite movie of all time, Ready Player One, that's Bigfoot is what his friend H drives in the street race in the beginning of the movie. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. You're gonna bring Bigfoot to a fucking race car race through New York City. So interesting.
I've seen Bigfoot a couple of times because the monster truck stuff comes through this area over at the Notice Center.
It does
At least once a year. And I was going to go to it. When was it? I think it was like last November. I think it was here. I don't mind going to it. I mean, the Notice Center is a little small for that kind of thing. I really want to go down to Cincinnati to Paul Brown Stadium and watch them really go at it there. That's where they can do all the jumps and the fucking crazy shit. But it's always fun. It's pretty cool to go watch those.
Let's get Sly back up here. Years later, Sylvester Stallone offered the role of Mr. Church to Kurt Russell in The Expendables. Russell declined the role, which was then accepted by Bruce Willis, who was considered to play Gabriel Cash. It went to Kurt Russell. What? Oh, okay. So it's all roundabout. So Bruce Willis was going to be Gabriel Cash, and it went to Kurt Russell.
Well, you got to remember for years. I mean, Sly, Bruce Willis, Schwarzenegger, all these guys have been buddies for years. I mean, because that whole era of the 80s was, I mean, a little bit later, of course, for Bruce Willis, but I mean, all three of those guys were the action stars of the 80s. I mean, they started playing in Hollywood together and shit. So I mean, it makes sense that they would suggest to each other or try to hand off roles they couldn't take to one of their buddies. It would have been interesting, but yeah,
oh my god, we should do a Last Action Hero. That's a funny movie.
There's actually, in watching this movie, there's a couple of movies that came to mind. I really want to do Cobra, the Stallone movie that he did, I think, right around the time he did this. Okay. Maybe a year earlier, because it's a cop movie, but it's got like some horror, scary themes to it. Because the whole movie is him in this confrontation with a cult of serial killers.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know if you've ever seen it or not. I think I have it on DVD. But that sounds interesting. It's kind of typical Sly, dude. The car he has in this movie, the Mexican in me. That car is so fucking cherry, dude. It's so awesome. But
I gotta know now. Hold on.
Yeah, even Northern DC says Cobra would be fantastic. That's actually one of the movies I wanted to do last Thursday because I was thinking to myself, because as I was watching this movie to record it or to review it, I had something came up about Cobra when I was looking at something on my phone. I was like, we got to do that movie. It's awesome, but I can't find it on these streamers anywhere. So, but I'm gonna endeavor to figure out a way. I mean, Tex will find his dark corners of the web. But yeah, the plot of the movie is that he's a cop in L.A. And there's this serial killer going around doing what serial killers do. And Brigitte Nielsen, who we're going to talk about here in a second, is a model who is a witness to one of these murders, and they're after her. And then he ends up having to protect her. So this gang of serial killers are after this girl, and he's trying to protect her. So it's like him kind of doing all this stuff to try to protect her, and then eventually he has to go one-on-one with the main guy, the main psycho serial killer who's running the whole show. It's a fantastic movie. It's one of Stallone's underrated films. I don't know why this film has gone so unnoticed for the years, but yeah, I mean, Northern DC says hasn't seen Cobra in over 30 years. The movie's about that old. I mean, it came out right about the time this one did.
I think it said 86. 86.
It's 86, yeah. So maybe a little before this one, but yeah, it's a fantastic movie. I've got it on DVD. So, but yeah, it's fantastic. I love that movie. I would love to find that so that we can review that, because I think that's the kind of movie that like Tex would appreciate and you of course would appreciate, like the serial killer kind of horror vibes that it gives off. The tones of the movie, the color tones of it. A lot of it's shot like at night or like right at sunset, where there's not light to help you see the craziness. It's like it's I like sunset in horror movies because something's coming, because the darkness is coming. And the whole movie is kind of shot like that. There's scenes that take place during the day, but it's got it's an action movie at its core, but it's got some horror visuals to it that are really cool. And then of course you've got a cult of serial killers who are trying to kill somebody, and then Stallone doing Stallone things. But yeah, that car is so fucking.
I'm looking. I looked that up. I'm looking at this car, and I mean, holy shit, that's a slick looking car. I'm not gonna lie.
That car. I remember looking something up about the car years ago. It's just like, I'm not a car person. I've said it a bunch of times. I know what I like though, but that car right there, I'm like, I gotta put on my white pants when I look at that car.
Right. Man, that is fucking cool. That's fucking. That's kind of funny because the poster. Now look at this poster. That's very Terminator looking. It's just Sly standing there with like a cigar in his mouth, the big shades. And he's got the gun holding up next to his head, like with his ridiculous, obnoxious gun. And I'm like,
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
the Terminator poster, like with Arnie holding up the pistol next to his head. Like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, Northern, I have not. I think it's behind a paywall on Prime. I don't think it's free
I was about to say
anywhere.
that dude, $3 though on Amazon Prime, I'd pay for it and watch it.
This
looks kind of cool.
I have it on DVD, so I wouldn't have to pay for it. But my
Well,
DVDs are all
okay,
still
we all
back
can't
there.
be. Excuse me, Mr. Perfect.
Well, I mean, I would pay for it again, to be absolutely honest. Like I said,
I would pay money for this.
Of all the underrated Sylvester Stallone films, this is the one that just angers me. I'm like, this is like prime Stallone. This was in the middle of all the Rocky and all. He was Rocky Rambo. All this stuff led to Cobra, and it's got Remy Santori, I think is his name, is the guy who was Clint Eastwood's partner in the Dirty Harry movies. He plays his partner in the, Stallone's partner in this movie, so he's just playing another cool ass cop. It's just a really fun movie, and it's got those really dark horror kind of feels to it. That's why I think somebody like Tex would like it. But yeah, if you get a chance to watch it, it's very much worth it.
I might have to look that up. All right. Oh, since we're talking about where are the other drugs going? Here's your Batman reference. It'll make sense here in just a second. Shortly after this film was released, a very potent batch of heroin was sold in the Bronx, New York. The words Tango and Cash were stamped on the bags, so many of the users overdosed, some fatally. So the NYPD drove around the neighborhoods using loudspeakers to tell people not to use that particular batch of heroin. Smart move. This was reported on
or heroin period to begin with. It's kind of
that's what I'm saying. Like maybe a good idea to not do that. This was reported on in all the flagship TV network stations there as well. Wow. Again, I've said it. This is like early versions of just like memes. Like I'm telling you, the world could be ending, and we're still gonna be making memes to the minute we die. Like aliens could come down and kill us all, and we're like, lols, Independence Day, getting beamed up. I don't know. Something. We're gonna make dumb memes until we die, and we've been honestly, when you think about it, we've probably been doing that since the beginning of time, just in different forms. So that's a weird way to troll people, just putting Tango and Cash on some drugs and releasing that into New York. Jesus. Oh, Northern DC. That's funny. See, that's where these platforms can read minds. Every time I go to watch a random movie from the 80s or 90s, it's behind a paywall. Christine was the last one. I know. I swear, every time I think of like, oh, I want to see that. And I own quite a bit of physical media. You can't see over here. There's like 3 boxes of, probably DVD. Actually, right here behind me, you can kind of see this little tote, the white lid underneath my clerk's sign. I'm going the wrong goddamn way. Right there. Playing movies in there. But it's every time I want to watch something, I think of it, and I always check, and I'm like, no, nope, it's all paywalls. Damn it. But like I said, sometimes it's worth it. I don't care. It's $3 and a couple hours of your time. So, or it means I got to go scour some, video stores for it.
Yeah, I finally broke down and bought the movie Them on Amazon because it was fairly cheap.
That's from the 50s. I mean, yeah, that's
from the 50s. It was the first on-screen performance of a guy who would become famous in Star Trek, named Leonard Nimoy. But
yeah, that guy.
It's also got a young James Whitmore, Brooks from The Shawshank Redemption. You're familiar with that movie, of course. But
oh yes,
yeah, it was one of the movies my dad and I used to watch when I was a kid constantly. It's a very good movie. I'd love to review it at some point. But
I would still be down for that.
Yeah. It's one of those movies, and I'm like, I think a modern day remake of that would be kind of cool. I don't know how you'd work the story out, but I mean, it'd be interesting because giant ants. I mean, come on, that right there, you've got me kind of interested. But yeah, it's a really good movie. But I finally broke down and bought that on Amazon.
You know what's kind of funny is I've mentioned that I'm like, well, I love references to stuff, and since one of my favorite video game series, Fallout, is very 50s centric. In Fallout 3, there is in fact a mission that is just called Them, with the exclamation point. And you want to take a wild guess what you got to go hunt down? Take a wild guess. There's some kid that comes out screaming about there's these fire ants that have taken. I think they killed his parents or something. And they come. It's it's a really early mission in Fallout 3. To be honest, I think it's somewhere near the Super Duper Mart. It's God, yeah. I don't think you get into DC just yet, but yeah, it's fire ants the size of like fucking cars. And of course, since they're fire ants that are not only mutated, but also they can essentially just shoot flames like a flamethrower from their fucking mouth.
Is there a chance we're gonna see that on screen in live action in the second season? I don't know if there's anything you've seen in the trailer that alludes to that possibility.
And again, I'm pulling from the game. That would be kind of cool because there is, in fact, because that was in DC. That was Fallout 3. Since this is now going to New Vegas, there is a well, no, they are still in that game. So there is a not like a flat. There's kind of a big deserty area, and there's, since you're in the Mojave, there's windstorms, dust storms that come through. There is a little area outside of an NCR encampment that has a bunch of those damn ants, and it's a pretty simple mission. You just got to go out there and exterminate some of the ants because they're giving you problems. Because again, they're the size of cars. So I'm kind of hoping, because they are still in New Vegas in the video game. So I'm hoping we do see them in the trailer when we broke it down. I mean, we saw, of course, the Death Claw. We're gonna see that. That's the big boy monster. For a quick second, we did see like the rad scorpions, maybe even a giant rad scorpion. That'd be horrifying. I'm hoping for some like fire geckos, which are like the size of like a kindergartner, probably. They're also horrifying. Cazadors, which are like the size of a fucking eagle. And then they still have the fire ants like out in the desert. So maybe, I'm just saying, I love the reference in the game, being that it's a 50s centric kind of retro futuristic game. So even that's a reference for the kids. Even someone like me who understands that, I'm like, I get the reference to the mission. Oh, god damn it. All right, where the hell was I? Okay, so last log. I don't know if we have one of them in the prison. I didn't use this one yet, so to be fair, they did escape the prison at that point. When Tango and Cash escape from the prison, Cash turns to Tango and asks if he stopped for a coffee in Danish. Tango says, "I hate Danish," an in-joke referring to Sylvester Stallone's recent divorce from Danish actress Brigitte Nielsen.
Yeah, I remember that being in the news. This
art imitates life. Damn.
It is a funny in-joke. It's it's kind of like the Rambo's a pussy line. It's a weird Easter egg. This was way more subtle than the whole he thinks he's Rambo's a pussy. But I do think that was really funny. One of the things that really surprised me, I'll go to another movie real quick about Creed 2, was that she actually has a small scene in Creed 2 as Drago's ex-wife from Rocky 4.
Oh.
And I was really, really surprised that because I don't know what if Brigitte Nielsen and Sylvester Stallone have maintained a relationship. I know now he's been married to some other girl for a long time now, but I don't know if they've maintained a relationship. So I don't know if there was animosity, and if he'd have called her up and said, "Hey, you want a quick cameo?" and she'd have been like, "Go pound salt, kiss my ass." Whatever. But I remember going to see that movie. When she walked in, I was like, really? Of all the cameos, I was not expecting this movie to see her walk in. I was like, huh. Now it wasn't a very important scene. I think it really was put there as kind of a, hey, do you remember this person, kind of member berry from Rocky 4? But I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, again, there's not a whole lot of dialogue there. She doesn't have a conversation with anybody. She's just sitting there while other conversations are happening. She's obviously meant to kind of like to give Ivan Drago, the character, a bit of to shake him up a little bit, give him a little bit of a emotional thing in the scene. But it was still kind of a surprising cameo, especially after her years of dating Flavor Flav and whatever the hell she was doing. But she is the girl that plays the model in Cobra. So apparently her and Sly were still, I think they were married at the time they made that movie. But yeah, she's in Cobra. She's the model that they're trying to kill. So we'll be talking about her again soon, I'm sure.
I'm down for that movie. Shit. Oh, look at that. That's the end of the tape. Please be kind, rewind, and don't get your Blockbuster fees, because that definitely matters now. So, final thoughts on Tango and Cash. Go.
It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. I recommend it. I mean, look, it's Sylvester Stallone. While he is a good actor, a lot of his career is just doing, well, through most of the 80s anyway.
Guns and explosions.
When he wasn't doing Rocky, was kind of this. And it's not bad. I mean, he's made some movies that are really good, worth watching. I mean, like I said, Cobra, underrated. He's done other things that I think are underrated. He did a comedy called Oscar years ago, back in the early 90s, right around 91, 92. That he says is one of the movies he wish he hadn't done. I think he's actually quite good in it, to be honest. It's a comedy. he plays a mobster in like 1940s Chicago who's trying to go straight. But but this is a good movie. It's good. It's good 80s peak Sly. You know, it's a great cast. Kurt Russell. They're all good. Jack Palance, great villain. It's a fun movie. You're not gonna. I don't think if you're an objective movie fan, you're gonna watch this and think, okay, that was pretty good. You're not gonna think it's the best movie ever, but you're gonna be satisfied with the 90 minutes you spent on this wild, crazy, action-packed thrill ride.
Yeah, you're not gonna be mad that you watched it. I think I agree with that. Like I said, I'm somebody who I enjoy entertainment. Wasn't that a slogan for somebody? Entertainment for entertainment's sake. That's from something. That's from something. Somebody correct me in the comments. I don't know. I know it's from something. But
also somebody I forgot to mention when we were talking about the cast was Mark. I always pronounce his name wrong. Mark Aliamo. He plays one of the guy on the right there. That's Mark Aliamo.
Oh,
I know him. He's been in plenty of movies, plenty of stuff. I know him mostly from Star Trek because I'm a fucking nerd about Star Trek. he plays a couple of different Cardassians. He plays Gul Macet. He's actually the first Cardassian to show up in the Star Trek universe. He also later on plays another character called Gul Dukat. And he is the one who actually, the very famous episode where, no, that wasn't him. It was somebody else. But he's just a regular bad guy in the Star Trek universe that he's always been very, very good as the bad guy in it. So I didn't want to go without acknowledging him that being the Trekkie that I am, how much I've enjoyed his work over the years as well. But another great character actor, someone who's been in plenty of stuff himself. I mean, Jesus Christ, the guy, how old is he now? He's been active since 71, but I mean, he's been in, Jesus Christ, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Let's see, he was the hitchhiker in The Last Starfighter, a great movie that we need to review at some point.
Okay.
Let's see, one of the Gambler sequels. He was in Total Recall with back in '90 with Sly. He was a trucker in Naked Gun 33 1/3. He's done plenty of TV work. Police Story, Kojak, Starsky and Hutch, Chips. He was in a couple episodes of Chips. Knight Rider. He was in an episode of that. Hardcastle and McCormick, a deep cut for all you '80s fans. The Fall Guy, T.J. Hooker. He was in those shows. The A-Team, Hill Street Blues. The guy's career is, he's done voices on The Family Guy. He's also done some video game work. Jeremy, he's done the Santa Fe Mysteries, some Star Trek video game voiceover stuff. The Call of Juarez, which I have not heard of. I don't know if you heard of it or not. But
no.
But yeah, a great guy. Quantum Leap, the first good version, not the shitty version. But a little bit of a horror stuff too. He was in an episode of Freddy's Nightmares back in 1989. But yeah, I would feel remiss by not mentioning that guy because he's always been someone who I've enjoyed on television.
Yeah, that's fair. Goddamn Star Trek nerd. You've seen Fanboys.
I have.
I'll fight you.
Star Wars. That's we don't have
Trekkies everywhere. Sorry, Garfunkel, we don't have Trek here.
I do not speak Klingon, however. I want to point that out. I'm not that my nerdiness has its limits. I've never learned Klingon, but you know.
You don't have the little man purse that's disguised as a scanner.
No, but I will not lie.
That's what I thought. Scanner reads douchebag.
I many times have almost bought a Klingon Batleth online, and there's a website that I have saved. Cool, there's a website that I have saved on my computer, and I go look at it every now and again. And in my cart is a real Batleth made of steel. And I'm like,
Ooh.
I could justify $350 for this thing. It's real. I could actually fight a Klingon with this thing.
Mount it.
So.
It'd be a cool mount for the background. Just put it up.
Yeah, it wouldn't be mounted long. I have a feeling Jennifer would probably stab me in my sleep with it for spending that much money without talking to her about it. So.
Live longer, prosper, dickhead.
But as the Klingons say, it would be an honorable way to die.
That's fair.
We need to do more Star Trek content.
Texas tried to. Hey, if you're going to insult me, use the correct line from the movie, bitch. And I'm not going to explain what it is. We'll have to find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Damn right.
So and again, I'll quickly. I agree. This is a fun movie. Just again, turn your brain off, have some fun, have some 80s fun with a buddy cop movie. I mean, you're not gonna be mad that you watched it. You just for the character work alone of these two guys just taking digs at each other. And again, a great bad guy in Jack Palance, which again, I don't have to. The name says it all. So you're not gonna be upset that you watch this movie. So I guess with that, what are we doing Tuesday? Help me.
I don't know. We'll think of something. I know that. I know next week I'll pimp out his channel a little bit. I know next week American Werewolf in New Jersey is doing a retrospective on the life and times of Robert Redford, who we lost.
Oh, he did. He just passed away.
A fantastic actor who contributed way more than just his talent. I mean, yeah, there's a Hall of Famer. He's the one. I know he's going to be doing an introspective on his career on Thursday. I may join him if Jeremy and Tex can hold the ship down on Thursday. I may go over there and join him and talk about Robert Redford. But I don't know what we're doing next week. We'll figure that out over the course of the weekend. But I guarantee will be something. It is a bit of a slow time. But I mean, Tex was just talking about this movie.
Jordan Peele.
It looks intriguing. I don't know that I'm on board with it all the way. It just looks odd. Part of me is kind of.
Every time I see a Jordan Peele movie, that looks interesting. And then I'm like, okay.
Part of me is kind of over the Jordan Peele thing. Kind of like how people kind of got over the M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong thing. I'm
still not over that. Sure.
I don't know. I don't always know what he's trying to do. He comes out with a couple of real winners, real bangers, but then he comes. I don't even know what this movie is supposed to be. Is it really just about this guy selling his soul to the devil to be a good football player? Is that what this is about? Because we've seen.
I have no idea about this movie.
Yeah, the marketing hasn't really got me. There's a couple things I want to go see that we may not necessarily review at least right away. I mean, obviously, I need to go see Downton Abbey still. I'm definitely do that this week.
I was like, I noticed somebody was absent. I went to go see Downton Abbey with my mom.
I really wanted to, but part of the problem is that my girlfriend and my stepdaughter are now getting. Girl Scout season is hitting full stride and starting right about now, all the way through until the end of cookie season is going to be a very, very busy time. That's one of the movies she wants to see with me because we're both tea timers. So I didn't want to go see it without her. There was the logistics of who's going to be here to do what, handle things around the house. It didn't work over the weekend.
That pesky adult stuff.
Also, there's that one movie with fucking what's his name with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's getting really good press.
One Fight After Another.
Yeah, it's getting
Del Toro.
Good reviews. Yeah, it's getting really, really good reviews.
It looks fun. I mean, I keep seeing trailers. I'm like,
it looked pretty badass. So I may have to try to sneak out and see a couple of movies this weekend. And if that one ends up being way better than I'm expecting, we may squeeze that onto the schedule. I'll talk to you guys about it.
I mean, I might go see it anyway. It looked pretty fun, honestly.
But it looks like a pretty interesting movie. So I'm gonna go check that out and see what that's about. And if that works, then great. But
okay.
Yeah, we'll do something. I mean, one way or another, maybe we'll figure out a way to watch Cobra, and we'll be able to review that. Because again, that's a movie I want to do for a long time.
Ah, crap. Well, apparently Tex got the invite too, so I guess I'm not special enough. So
I had told him I was just like because he knows that we stream Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I was like, Jeremy's been running Thursdays, so if him and Tex are doing their thing or whatever they're doing, I'll pop in over there and do whatever. But we'll work something out. One way or another, we represented over on Werewolf's channel. But go check out his channel as well. He's in the description below.
Work it out on the ground.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. It's we're in spooky season, so I don't know if remember it's only been 1 weekend, so my demeanor is not quite there yet. So
he's not at full devil yet. The evil hasn't taken him over completely.
no, not yet. I will though. So that's what I'm doing. I will share one really quick story from last weekend already. Had something really cool happen. It was Saturday night. I was up on stage doing the thing as I do. Say the people gather in. I say the speech, hit the flamethrower, and then guys with chainsaws come out, and they chase people around in the maze, right? So I do the speech, hit the flamethrower, tell them to pick their destiny. Now the stage is kind of like curved, so like there's the people in front of me and there's people to my right. So I kind of like leaned over to the right to like mess with these people, and then I see my friend running out. Now he has a chainsaw, but he's got it above his head, doing his best like Leatherface, and I'm like, why is he just standing there? And this happened all real quick. My other buddy, who is one of the other devils, is screaming, "She said yes!" And I'm like, what the shit? There's this couple just in mid-embrace. He's got her picked up, swept off the ground, spinning around her mid-kiss. And I'm like, you seriously just proposed right now? What the hell?
In the middle of a haunted cave?
Yes. Right after I did my speech, boom, he apparently dropped to his knee and just proposed to her, and she fucking said yes.
Everybody's got their version of romance. If that's their version of romance, I will allow it. I say props to those people.
Me and just full devil gep. I'm like, oh my god, okay. Here, I even hit the flamethrower, boosh, and hit it off a few more fucking times where I'm like, oh yeah. And we're all just cheering and shit. He gave me a fist bump. And he's like, I couldn't think of a better place to do it, honestly. I was like, that's weirdly awesome. I love that.
I raised my McDonald's cup with Coke and a little bit and what was left of my spiced rum. To you guys,
my 2 sips of cherry Coke left. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I poured more Diet Coke and some spiced rum into my McDonald's cup as I've been drinking all
night. Yeah, no, that was cool. So that already happened.
Yeah, this doesn't surprise me. This doesn't surprise me at all.
Okay. Wait. Do you hear that? I hear the banjos somewhere in the background.
Somewhere 2 banjos, they are a dueling.
I'm gonna hear you squeal, boy.
Another movie we need to put on the schedule.
Deliverance. Oh my god,
Deliverance, another classic. One of the greats.
I agree. That is original. I know people tell me, and well, we're already married, so it doesn't matter now. Like, oh, you guys should have done that. I'm like, no, don't think we didn't. We did take engagement pictures in there. I'm in full devil garb. She's in full cave makeup. And there's, all cutesy pictures, foot popped. And I think, frankly, we may have sent one to you. Like, we sent some invites out with us, like, in the haunted cave.
I still have it. Yeah, I still have it.
Yeah, so it's true. We have photo evidence. That did happen. So we did do that.
Yeah, text Casey doesn't need to. Casey doesn't need
I was going to use all the same thing I did.
I was like, Casey doesn't need to watch Deliverance. He's lived it.
I think there's some pictures on that movie. I think it was him. Anyway,
hey, there's got to be a T-shirt idea for Casey in there somewhere. I'll have to look into that.
Oh god, some banjos. Me have Casey. You just hear you squeal. All right. Anywho, yeah. So I guess we'll. I need music, man. I need my DJ. Yeah. So we'll figure something out for Tuesday. And, it's something to do with movies. Until then, we'll see you. Goodbye.
Adios. I'm already thinking about the T-shirt ideas for Casey and a banjo and a pig.
I think it writes itself.
The question is will it be allowed?
That's the Patreon thing.
What will we have him doing with the banjo and the pig? Who knows?
We have plenty of comments that say what he does.